Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is AetherTech, and today we're going to be talking about the SKS in an SG Works bullpup chassis. These are both complete pieces of shit, by the way. You should never ever own an SG Works bullpup chassis unless you want to troubleshoot it until the end of time. And this is also just a random Chinese SKS from God knows where, and I'm sure not even God knows. But I had some problems with my SKS that started shortly after I put it into this chassis, and at first I thought it was just some abnormal wear on the trigger group, so I sent that down to Texas. They didn't find any problems with it. Just got it back today, and I have been fucking with this thing for, oh god, a good hour, and I think I discovered the problems with it. The first problem is the housing back here sits a little too high, so trim that down a little bit. Not by much. You don't have an exact measurement. I just took my Dremel to it, and when I felt like it was enough, that's enough, I guess. The other problem is, and excuse me while I try to grab parts that are being magnetized, but the other problem is the trigger engagement bar from the front bullpup trigger to the actual SKS trigger, the linkage, this piece right here, not deep enough. It wasn't letting the trigger reset fully. So let me show you. When you pull the trigger on the SKS, so first you have to make sure this disconnector gets pressed down a little bit, and then you got to find the sweet spot. Oh, it'd help if I didn't have the safety up. But you got to find the sweet spot to where it'll release the trigger, which is, ow, fuck, right there. And then when the trigger wants to come back, it has to come back enough after the thing is recoiled. So the gun comes back, the trigger is still connected. It's got to come back far enough to reset all the linkages down in, I'm not even holding in the right spot. Okay, I'm not going to go through that again. My camera is my cell phone, and it's got a shitty janky setup, so you're going to get what you get. Basically, this was stopping it from going back too far. So I'm going to try to reassemble it and hopefully not completely cock it up, which is very, very easy to do in this thing, which is, I think, already happening, unfortunately. There we go. No, that's not right either. Oh, hell. Well, let's go back the other way. Yeah, this is a finicky thing. Just a bunch of springs and a wire. So, give me a moment to try to figure that out. Because it has to sit like this, except over here, but not binding up on things, which is what it's going to do if I try to do it that way. And you can't pull on this little spring too hard because that'll just pop right the fuck out. There we go. Okay. So you want it to go like that, and then we're going to grab this tiny little screw with a magnetic screwdriver, by the way. It's a lot easier. Grab this, make sure it's oriented in the right direction, and without losing the screw, we're going to get that back in there, and you got to make sure to get it down, but not super tight. It needs to have a little play in it, but it can't also sit too tall, otherwise it will interfere with things. So that's a little too tight. We're going to back it off a hair. Perfect. Then to get the trigger back in, you do all the normal SKS trigger things. You put it on safe, you flip this out of the way. We'll get back to it. Make sure your trigger is pointing in the right direction. Get that in there. Before you slam it home, you gotta take this back in. See if I get a better angle on that. Yep, right about this very, very janky, wiggly cell phone holder arm. But you gotta get this piece here onto that bit right there. So that'll go just like that. There we go. And then you can pound it home. Good old SKS style. And so you can see it's already wants to fight me, so Let's see what happens when we actually... Give me my bit, please. Put it back together. And if it doesn't work this time, I don't know what to do. Oh, I forgot to mention, yes, I filed down the trigger pusher bit. So hopefully it should work. You got to tighten this bit down next, and you got to make sure not to over tighten it, otherwise it won't work. Basically, you just pull this while you're tightening it, once you get to the point where you need to tighten it. So that's too tight. Back it off. Back it off. Pretty good. Let's try it like this. There we go. But tighten it down a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Too tight. A little tight. And right about there should do it. And now let's see if it actually works. And if it doesn't work at this point, I'm probably going to, I don't know, throw the whole thing away. I'm so sick of this SKS. Let's see if it works. Nope. And I know it's that part, not letting the trigger reset, because I can reset it manually like that. So that part is still too long. Or there's something else I'm going to have to adjust. There's plenty of play in this bit here, so I don't think that's what's holding it. It just doesn't want to reset all the time. Unless this is really loose, which is not something I like. Yeah, now it's too loose and it wants to slip off there. Yep, it's slipping off again. Well, I have an idea. Maybe. Maybe. Let's take this back out. Grab something for this piece of shit to lean against so I can work on it. I'm going to grab an extra washer and put it under here. And now it's too tall to fit. There we go. Oh yeah, taking this fucking thing out back and ending all of our miseries would probably be the wisest choice. I think I also just need better files. I've got my files from Tool Shop from Menards. Masterforce from Menards. Ain't cut worth a damn. So, trigger moves, trigger reset. Let's hold it back. And it is still being a bitch. I'm going to have to tighten down that other screw, I think. Alright, this turned into a much longer video than I thought it would. So, safety on. Undo this. And actually, next time I put it in, I'm going to Loctite it. Unscripted, uncensored. Woo! Give me back my watcher, you pile of whores. Alright. Let's try to tighten this down a little bit. The instructions said don't put it too tight, but I think it lied. And by the way, SG Works is completely out of business. For a while, their website was still up and taking orders, and it was basically just stealing money at that point. Okay, let's get this unfucked a little bit. There we go. Put you back where you belong, like so. And do I try it with the washer? Don't have much to lose by doing so. Well, it's a clusterfuck anyway. I think I do it, unfortunately. I'll try it without. If that doesn't work, oh well. Alright. I mean, the trigger definitely works. Definitely resets when this isn't being a bitch. And oh no, he's swearing so much. Yeah, that's what happens. Yep, it's still not resetting. It's just not allowed to. It's just not being allowed to go back far enough to reset. Oh, my janky light. And of course, if I undo this a little, like, did I forget to charge it? It felt like it charged. There we go. Now it reset. There we go. So I guess it's gonna have to be a little loose like that. You can see it's just kind of peaking a little bit. I don't really know what to do. Alright, I'm gonna play with it, toss some Loctite in there, and hopefully it'll just work. As long as it works long enough for my brother to come home and enjoy it, because he likes bullpups. This is the only bullpup I own. That's all I got. Alright, again, don't get this piece of shit. Don't get a piece of shit Chinese SKS, and definitely don't do what I do, kids. It's not worth it.